This is a Word document which basically consists of sorry, a report. It's a report that was done by a student last year, but obviously I've taken their name off. And what we're going to use that as basically as a basis to show you exactly what you need to put on each part of the report, apart from the main text. So we'll be going over it stage by stage. As you hopefully you can see from here, the actual title is pretty much what you put in your introduction. Okay, the possible implications of Brexit, it should be of Brexit, not of Brexit, of Brexit on protected characteristics contained within the Equality Act. That can be used as your title. Then please put your own name in here. Do not use the words your name here. Put in your own name, even if it is Joe Blogs. Okay? If you want to, an alternative way of doing it is you can put in student. That should be student, not student, which is a brand new word that we just made up. And you can then put in after that if you wish. If I can't spell my own name, I've really got problems. You can put my name after it, okay? And obviously you've got the date of submission down at the bottom, okay? Which should be obviously, in your case, it will be 21st of May. Now, the 21st of May is the last day you can submit this, okay? Ideally, get it done early if you can, get it out of the way. That way, if everybody's got that finished, we can go on to the final assessment quite quickly. Okay, so that's your basic contents page. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Did it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's great. That's that. So we're now going to move on. Now you'll notice that as it stands at the moment, it's going straight from the title page to the content. We actually need a page in between there to put the contents page onto. Now, if you're not sure how to put a blank page above, if you click just before the word introduction, and then on your keyboard press Control and Enter, it will put a blank page in. So as it stands at the moment, we have the title page, and then we have a blank page below that. Okay. Eventually, that is where the contents page will go. I'm going to carry on down to introduction here. Now we'll deal with page numbering first. The page numbering takes place in the footer at the bottom of the page. In order to open it, you either go to Insert, and across here you find page number, bottom of the page, and either pick number 2 or number 3. We'll go with number 3. Okay, I'm going to close that for a moment. And as you can now see on that, that's actually starting at page number 3. So getting page number 3, page number 4. But what it's also done is it's put a page number on the blanks page, and there's not one on the first page, and I'll tell you why. Ideally, this is what you're wanting. Depends on how your computer's set up. But if you actually go into your insert, get back to your insert, and basically to page number again, when you click on that and you see button page, I'm just going to pick the same one again. Okay, this little box at the top should actually a tick indifferent first page. If that's ticked, that's fine. You will not get a number on the first page, the first page of your report. If a number appears, you need to go back in and tick that, activate it, so that it's got basically so that it'll work. Everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Do you follow it?
Yeah.
Do you want me to go over that again? Little time, see if this will work. I'm going to take that out.
Yeah.
Hold on. So I've taken that out. I'm going to go back right to the top. Now, if this has worked, but sometimes it doesn't when you're doing it in reverse. Yeah, it has. If you'll notice now, we've got a number on the title page. but we don't want that. So what you do is you go to, you basically go up to, it's under the design tab and click on different first page. That takes that number out. Then when you close it, by closing your header and footer, you're only numbered from page 2, which is where your contents page is going to go. Everybody following that?
Yeah.
Right, okay, so next up, for the moment, the headings. Now, I briefly showed you before there are 2 main headings in a report. The main heading, which would be something like introduction, has to be changed from normal to heading 1. Okay? Same thing with legislation, heading 1. But under legislation, you've got 2 subheadings. The Equalities Act and Brexit. When you're doing that, you press heading 2. And the same with Brexit. I'm going to change it because that's a small p in there, so that's better. Okay, so Brexit process, and again, heading 2. Now you'll notice that obviously the headings look slightly different, but that also has an effect in terms of how your contents page is going to work when we get there. We'll quickly carry on with that. If you've got anything at all like this, you've got a heading at the bottom of a page, sometimes when you change it, it'll move down. If it doesn't, I'll explain to you what to do in a moment, okay? But that's your main heading, and that's the effect of Brexit. Just getting everything looking correct, looking the same. Potential problem areas, same thing again. It's a main heading. The only area, there's only 2 bits of subheadings. That will be your legislation and also the appendices, the appendix at the end. Again, heading 1. Okay, and the same with conclusion. Now, I'm only going so far with this. I'm not going to do things like the glossary of terms next, but actually see it's done on here, so it will probably show up. I'm going to go back. Now we've got the page numbers in and most of the headings. I'm going to go back to our blank page, and I'm going to click in there. This time I'm going to the References tab, which hopefully you can see up here that I'm highlighting. And right at the far left, you'll see Table of Contents. I click that, select either Table 1 or Table 2. So today we'll go for Table 2. And what you should find is, all going well, is you have that, which is the start of your Table of Contents. Now, if it's too high up the page, click just before the T, use your Enter button and bring it down. Okay, sometimes it looks better like that. So at the moment you've clicked off of that, you have all the areas that have been correctly entered into the report as it stands. And you'll notice that the 2 subheadings, the Equalities Act and the Brexit process, they are indented in slightly, showing that they're subsections. Okay, now that's what we've got, all the areas that have got correct headings and numbers on them. But there's still some missing. And that's the reason why I did this early, rather than wait until everything was finished before we put in the contents page. Because in theory, what you can do is, if you were working on this and you got to the end of, say for instance, the glossary, and you decided, I'm really tired, and you save it, because you've saved it, you can then go back in the next day and add the other information into it. It's not a case of having to re-enter it all again. I'm going to demonstrate to you what I mean, basically when we're coming down here. I'm moving down. Oh, another thing I wanted to show you was basically what's quite important about reports is that everything pretty much is they're in tandem with each other and they pretty much look the same. So I've changed this to view many rather than, as you see, by moving the table of contents down, it actually looks more in place with the title page. Incidentally, there's nothing wrong with you putting a picture in the title page if you want to. You do it underneath the text, and but it means you're going to have the text higher up the page. That's not a problem if you want to put one in. Just make it relevant. So we've got table of contents. As you can see from here, each area has got their heading. The only reason why legislation is on its own and has a gap is because obviously it's two subheadings. So there's one for each section. Ideally, do not leave a heading or a heading and a couple of lines at the bottom of a page. Move it down to the next. Move it on to the next one. It just looks better. I'm going to move this one up to the top. If it will go, it won't. So I need to start again. Also remember the undo button is your friend. Oh, that's fine. Okay, so we've got it from there. Now, the next thing we're going to look to see analysis, recommendations, and conclusion. And it's quite neat the way it's set out. The way a report looks is very, very important. It has to be consistent. All the headings have to be the same. The text that you use has to be the same. And I've lost count of the amount of people that have given me contents pages that are a mixture of everything in capitals and everything in small, basically in sentence case. Sorry, that's not accepted. It must look all the same. I'm going to have a wee look at this bit here, which is the glossary. And I'm just going to zoom out. Oh, no, that's I'm going the wrong way. Apologies on that. Should be zooming in now. Right, glossary of terms. This seems to be causing some people, I don't know why, because it's pretty straightforward, some issues with this. A glossary of terms. It basically is like a mini dictionary. And the situation is that you're putting in terms that maybe when you look at the report or you're writing the report that you don't fully understand. Because if you don't understand it, there's a fair chance that anybody else reading your report wouldn't either. So that's why you're giving that. That's basically why you're putting in the term, and then you're tabbing it a couple of times. Then you're putting in the definition of what it means. You do the same with each term. I need a minimum of 5. You can see the student did more than 5. But I need a minimum of 5 for it to be accepted. Some people have given me 5. Some people have given me 10. Some people have actually given me about 3 pages worth. It's up to you the way you want to do it, as long as you meet the minimum criteria of 5. If you put in 3 and think, Alan won't notice, Alan will notice, and he'll send it back to you and ask for the other 2. Okay, so it's a minimum of 5 on this. Does that help anybody in terms of the glossary if you've not got there yet?
Yeah.
To give me a better idea what to do. Okay, that's fine. Okay, next up, the bibliography. Okay. Have you all kept the links to the websites that you went basically for your work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Do you know? Have you heard of, or do you know how to use a referencing site called Cite This For Me?
No.
Have any of you came across the term before?
Yeah.
But you've never actually used it.
I have, but it's a bit of a nightmare.
Really? What did you find difficult about it?
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well,
I've tried the Harvard one before, but it's hard to get it right.
Right. Okay. Well, what we'll do is I'm actually going to take us onto the site, and I'm going to show you how to use it. Okay. And hopefully it'll make things a bit clearer. The only difference I would say with it is it's made it a lot more difficult to get the information out of it. It keeps asking you for money, but there is a way around that, and I'll show you what you can do that's acceptable. Okay, so I'm going to go into a basic web browser. It's the one that decides to turn up. Hold on, putting in new. Oh, I hate it when it does that. Right, putting a new tab. There we go on Google. Okay. Can you excuse me 1 minute? Can you see the Google page at the moment?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay. Excuse me. I'll be back in a minute. I need to go and sort something. Okay, folks, back with you. Sorry about that. Right, okay, so as I say, we're basically on the Google. I'm just going to type in Cite This From Me. For those of you that don't know the spelling, CITE, if you fit, what you might find it will come up straight away. Okay, as you noticed here, because I've been using it, it's came up on here, but normally you would just type in Cite This From Me with that spelling. So I'm going to go to the site. This is one that we created earlier. So I want actually, of all things, actually want to offer that one. Right, okay, so let's see. No thanks. Right. I'll basically do it again from scratch. Okay, I'll just do it via the website. Hopefully it will not start that old one again. Oh, lovely, it's the same thing. Right, okay. I can show you how this works anyway. These are ones that we did earlier when we were practicing. So what we're doing basically is under normal circumstances, actually choose citation styles Harvard. I've got that. I'm trying to get it back to the initial page. It's very annoying, this. Okay, we'll go for it anyway. Right, okay. So the idea is when it comes up, it asks you what you are.
Sorry, I don't understand.
That's Google kicking in just to annoy me.
The microphone is muted.
Good, we might get peace then. Right, okay. So, essentially, as you can see from here, there's actually 2 references being put onto this. So I'm going to show you how to do a new reference from scratch. Add new reference. This is the page that you normally see when you first log on. And what you do is you choose the type of source that your reference is coming from. So basically what we'll do is we'll look at in terms of your website, because I'm assuming that most of you will be using website references. So website, and then from there you would add in the website that basically you want to set the reference for. Has anybody got a URL to hand they want to put in, or we'll just make one up? Okay, I've got no answers, so I'm just going to make one up. Let's make it nice and easy. www.bbc.co.uk. So after I put that in, I press search, and it comes up with all links relating to the BBC. So you would then go down the list and try and find and select the one that you actually want. The same thing would happen if we were doing, well, I'll show you how we're doing books in a moment, but we'll just say it's the home page. That's fine with that. Press the cite button. What it does then, it looks at that and it tells you what it can find, but also what it cannot find. Now, you see here, can't find authors, can't find publisher, can't find publication date. You might have that information that you want to add in to make it look better. You may not. Either way, you press continue. Okay, so we'll assume that we'll just make one up again, and we'll say that I am the author of the BBC website. That's never likely to happen, but never mind. Okay, so we'll add that in. Likewise, if you're accessing a date, and if you'd been looking at that not today, let's say you looked at it on the 1st of May, you can go in there and change that. After that, click on complete citation. Okay, now you'll notice on here it's came in under my name, but it's obviously the BBC online details. It's come in that particular place because it is a website. Books go to the top, websites go to the bottom normally. Everybody okay with that? Are we all right?
Yeah.
Could you follow it okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. If anybody can't follow, I'm going to do the same thing again, but I'm going to do it in relation to a book.
What about the dates, Alan? What if you don't have the dates? I take it you just need to make them up, basically, then?
Aye, that's it, pretty much. Aye. I mean,
Okay.
listen, you know it's going to be sometime in May, okay, or it's going to be early April, because it's only been out about the assessment's only been out about 3 weeks. So you don't start. I'm not going to suddenly double check back to find out when you accessed it, as long as the reference is there.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to go with an add new reference again. This time, rather than the website, I'm going to use a book. Somebody give me the name of a book or a type of book. Or even an author, anything.
Stephen King.
Right, fine, no bother. That's all right. It's PH, isn't it, with Stephen? I think it is.
Yeah.
Stephen King, yeah, okay. There's going to be a lot of answers for this one. Right, search for book sources. You're saying Stephen King. Bang. There we go. Now we've got details. We've got details basically of work on about Stephen King, but then we've also got his books like The Shining and Carrie. Okay, so there are a lot of results, and you can get more coming up. So what you would do is, if you know basically that's the person or the book you wanted, it's a case of going through the list until you find the one you want. So we'll take it here. You want The Shining. Tick on that. Press the cite button. What's it telling you? It's got everything it needs. Stephen King, year published, the book title, the city it was based on, and the publisher, Hodder & Stoughton. Click on continue. And then again, if there's anything else you want to put in, because say for instance, you were referring to that book, but you were only looking at certain pages. We'll put in that you were looking at pages 14 to 16. That's not something you're likely to do at college, but it's something you may well do for those of you that are moving on to university, okay? And we'll be posh, we'll say it's a first edition, right? So, then click on complete citation. Same kind of thing as it did before. The difference you can see down here is giving you all the details that we have. The name of the book, the date, The Shining first edition, London, Hodder, and also the pages. So all the information we've put in is now on there. Okay, so that's how you use that. You pretty much you go in for each one of these until you've got your full list. Is everybody okay with that so far? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Right, thank you. Right. Now, the question is, how do you get it out of there and into your report? There's two ways of doing it. If you actually go in here and say, and basically say, download to Word, I tell you now, it's going to turn around and say, do you want a premium service and charge money? Okay. So let's do a copy and paste. I've clicked copy and paste and it should have opened it up into a new Word document. Okay, so there you go, there's your copy and paste, it's shown you. And now it's just a case of, quite simply, it's transferring that from that page on screen into your references or bibliography section. Copy. If we go down here, there's the actual things that are there, but I'll just add these in below it. They're all going well. Use text only. You don't want it. Sometimes there's little captions or things that you don't want. If we actually move that down. That's your reference list, whether it be a website or a book. It says references, but in this case, you would change it to bibliography, because that's what's being asked for in the report. Is everybody clear with that? Does that solve any problems that people might be having? Okay, nobody's saying a word. Are you all still there? I can't actually see you. That's why I'm seeing that. Okay, let's go. Sorry, people. I'm not okay. Right. So, is that okay? Does that make sense to you in terms of how to get the reference in the correct format and move it across?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. I'm assuming the ones that don't want to speak are okay with it. Well, they have to be because I'm looking over it again. Right. Okay. So that's how you basically would do your reference section. Remember, you ticked Harvard as a type. If you had ticked something else, like maybe modern European, it would be in a slightly different format from what you've got on there. Okay, so that's that. So we've done that, and bibliography, what we'll do there, because that section's now finished, we'll go back to where we are before, change that to heading 1. Okay. So in turn, if we then go back up to where the title page is. Okay, now remember that stopped at glossary. If we go on here and click at the top, you will get an update table page, or rather a tab. Click on that, change it to update entire table. Click on OK, and then goes to bibliography. Now the reason why you might say, well, why do you really need the update entire table? Say you were in the middle of writing a section and you stopped, you then went back. Sometimes, obviously, as you complete sections on the report, it moves pages, so this keeps track of it automatically. So if it's moved from, say, from page 4 to page 5, when you update the whole table, it'll indicate that. Okay, we're doing all right so far?
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay,
Can you
right.
just show how
Right.
you got the headings?
Sorry?
Can you just show how you got the actual headings to go on the actual document?
Yes, of course, yeah, it's no problem. The heading is here in each section. So what you've got in your actual report, okay, although you'll have it in text, what you basically do is you highlight it. I'll come down to the next one because I don't think that's in. We'll deal with that. The next one we're going to be looking at is basically, well, I'll use the references one as an example. Normally when you type it in, you've got it as normal text. You highlight it like so and then click on heading 1 at the top of this page. You're on the home page. That changes it and makes it into the correct format. If I then go back and change the contents page again, I know it's taking forever. Okay, and we'll do what we did before this time. Sorry, update table, update the entire table. Now I've put a new heading in. So it's now showing references starting on page 8. Did that help you?
Yeah.
Right, okay, I'm going to take that back out because obviously we don't need it. And then we can re-update the page again. I want to move back on into the bottom section. And then we'll sort things out from there, right? So we don't actually need the references section, that can go. So.
Alan, can you go over how to actually put the heading and again, like the header, where you get header 1 and header 2 from?
Yes, of course I can. No problem, we'll do that. Right, that's actually what I just did, but never mind. Let's go for it again. Right, okay. We'll start with introduction. Wherever you want the header, okay, you select it, pull it across to select it. We okay so far?
Yeah.
So normally what would happen is, it would look like that. And you'll notice above here, I'm on the home tab here, it says normal text.
Right, I get that, but like
Right,
when you actually go to do it originally, like insert header and stuff like that.
right, okay. Insert header. You actually just format the header. So that's what it's normal. That's what it normally be like. You go across to see what it says heading 1.
Is that on view?
It's normally in view. So you're on the home page, you've got normal text and then there's no spacing, and then there's heading 1. And when you click that, it automatically changes it to the heading.
Right, and that falls on every other heading, or do you need to highlight every other heading as well?
You need to highlight every heading that you're changing.
Right, okay. Right, no
Okay,
worries.
it's better to do it one at a time rather than, I mean, you can do it as a block if you want to, but if you
Yeah.
make this mistake, you mucked up the whole thing.
Yeah,
So
okay.
for that reason, you're better doing it one at a time. Okay, so I'll show you what we did for heading 2 on this. So I'm picking up Equalities Act again,
Yeah, I get it now. Aye, I get
and it
it.
would normally be like that, but what we're doing is just then changing that to heading 2.
Yeah.
Okay, if you find on your computer that you can't see heading 1 or heading 2, if you actually click this down, it'll give you a list of other ones below it. So you'll probably find it's been hidden in there. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Back up. Okay. So that's normally what we've got. So we're back on that one. Now notice I took references out, so I'm going to go back up again. Update the table. Okay, entire table, and that will take that references section that we put in as an example back out. So we're back to bibliography. So the only thing we've got to put in now is the appendix or the appendices. So let's get right down to the bottom of the article, as we say, right back to where the appendices are. Now I've put one in, I've left one in here, just to give you an example of what it should look like. And then we're going to go and we're going to do an appendix 2 from blank. So you can get an idea of what we're looking at. Okay, so at the top of this, you should have 2 headings. Appendices, this is only on the first appendix page. Appendices is a heading 1. Appendix 1 rather, is a heading 2. And that will be the same for appendix 2 as well in the next page. Your heading will be a heading 2. Okay, so in here, what we've got basically is a diagram of a timeline. At the bottom of each appendix, you must put in what it is so we know what it identifies with. So what you normally do with that is the text is normally a size 9, so it's really small, and you put it in italics as well, just to show that it's different from normal text. Now that we'll come back to after we've done the second one, because there's one thing we need to do. These need to be linked into the main report, which I'll show you how to do in a minute. So the way it works with appendices is this. You've got 2 different ones, and why you get 2? Because maybe you've got 2 different types of information. You've got a timeline chart there. You might decide that in this under appendix 2, you want to put in details on, say, the Brexit vote. So what we're going to do is come down. So obviously you're below the name of the name of the appendix, the tick for the appendix, and we're going to put in a graphic relating to the Brexit vote. So we need away from this as much as we possibly can get, because we're done with that. So let's get back to Google. Okay, let's not bother. Let's put a new one in, it's quicker. Right, okay. So we're back with Google. So this time we want information on Brexit vote. But we don't just want it in text, we actually want it in diagram form, a picture form. So you can go, basically you can pick, say we'll go for Brexit voting map, click on images, and that will give you all information relating to the map. You decide what one you want in and why. Okay? So we'll go for map of UK regions. I've just clicked on that to get the thing up, because what we want to do basically is we want to save that. Or open, so we'll say open image. And see if it will open it separately, which we'll look at. We're doing it that way. Good, do it this way then. Okay, copy image. If we want the whole thing. And then obviously what we then do is go back to your report. So we're back to the appendix 2. And again, it's just quite simple. You want to put it in, you want to keep the source formatting on it. This is coming as a wee one, but it's okay. Some of them are clear enough that they will open. a bit larger. Failing that, you can actually find that sometimes if you if you've got the option of opening up the full images, the image will be absolutely fine with that. So below that, you'll need to put in exit voting, and just say by area. Same as we said before, that's got to be text size 9. And also press the italic button. If it's on the edge like so, please center it using the centering button. It just looks better. So that is in there because, as we say, it's a different type of information, but that would be your 2 appendices. If you want to make it look nicer, bring that one down in line with the other one. Okay, if you need it. But that should get your 2 types of appendix. Okay, and you've also got your captions below that. Now, why do you need the captions? I'll tell you. Okay, as it stands at the moment, we have a diagram showing who's involved in EU negotiations. Now, that would probably apply to the Brexit area, as would that. So we've got 2 separate appendices that apply to the same area. So we'll go back in the report to the bit it applies to, which will be the Brexit section. Which, as we know, is actually quite near the beginning of it. So where it says about Brexit process and the effect of Brexit, after that, quite simply, open a bracket and put well done. I've got a new spelling appendix. Because it actually you can put in PSC appendices. Because the 2, but that's only because the 2 of them apply to the one section. So that basically what you've done with that is that's you've now linked it back to the main body of the report. It's important you do that as it's one of the things that's actually down in the criteria for the assessment. Okay, so that apart from one thing, and the fact that I've got a big page down there that I don't actually need. And give me a second to go rid of it. If you don't know how to get rid of an extra page, I'll go over it with you if you like. Okay, here we go. That's that. That's us down, and that's the whole report complete apart from one thing, and that is always remember to do this. I'm just going to move that up a bit, but always remember the last thing you should do before you finish off is go back to your table of contents and make sure it's been updated. Because if we left that as it is, as you can see, it only ends at bibliography. But we've now got appendices and it to be added to that. So update table, entire table, okay. And that's the appendices plus 2 subheadings are in, so that's every section accounted for.
How do you add the subheadings from the heading?
Subheadings, yep, subheadings are there, appendix 1, appendix 2. And as I said before, heading 1 is a main heading. Heading 2 is a subheading.
So see when you go to format that, how do you do that? I'm choosing.
You do that exactly the same way as you did for the heading.
So would it be a heading 2?
So I'll go over that again. You only use heading 2 instead of heading 1. Right, we've got 2 here, okay. Right, so I'm going to change these back to normal text. Okay. Your main heading is appendices. So you click on heading 1. Your subheadings are heading 2. So it's always the one below the first one. So the first one is at heading 1 and that's heading 2. And that's how you get the difference.
Right, okay.
I take it if you don't have like a subheading, that's fine.
If you don't have a subheading, that's absolutely fine. There's not a problem with it. As long as it's been linked correctly. In other words, if you've not put in an appendices section, but you've just put them in separately as appendix 1 and appendix 2, as long as you've made the appendix 1 and 2 main headings, that's fine.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, it's only if you want it. This is the proper way to do it, which is why I'm showing you. But I would accept it as just two separate appendix headings, but there must be a heading, and more importantly, they must be linked back. Okay. So, is there anything else on this you want me to go over or go back over before we move on?
Are you going to put this in like kind of PowerPoint, how to do this as well?
No, I'm not. I'm not going to put it in PowerPoint. We've got a PowerPoint. What I'm actually trying to do is I'm trying to record this in a low enough format that I can send you a link to it. If you're going to put something on the web, and basically in terms of a video, it's got to be a minimum size. So I'm at the moment, I'm processing texting to get things down to that size, so I can then send you an individual copy of it. Okay, so it won't be today, but it might be tomorrow, depending on how quickly I can get that done. But there will be a copy of this session available for you to click and look back on, because I think that would make more sense when you actually try something out. So if you get halfway through it, you think, I've forgotten how to do subheadings, you can then re-look at the video and check it.